This is the main engine of the Israeli economy, to be a very close ally with the United States of America. We can argue, as I said, but in times of crisis, we have to be resilient and we have to be unified, including the occupied parts, but unfortunately.
So, what role can Georgian youth play in strengthening relations between Georgia and Israel in the future?
You know, this is one of my priority for this year. Working with different movements of youth here in Georgia, raising awareness of the good relations that we have between our two countries, presenting them the right and the true Israel without the filters of the media and the social platforms. And I have a lot of thoughts about projects that I would like to do with the youth here. And I will be very happy working with any movement here all over the country. I'm not ambassador to Tbilisi, I'm ambassador to Georgia, to every part of Georgia, including the occupied parts, but unfortunately, politically, I cannot do that much there. I cannot even be there, but this is one of my priorities. I can give you an example what we did recently in the Holocaust Memorial Day. I met last with the Minister of Education here. We made a competition among school students all over the country. We asked them, we have a project that we asked them to make a self-search on the Holocaust and to make a short video of about 2 to 3 minutes in Georgian or in English, what they learned about the Holocaust and what they think the Holocaust message is. We received more than 220 participants from all over Georgia. We picked 3. It was very hard to pick. We picked 3 winners and we awarded them in the Memorial Day of the Holocaust in the 27th of January. So a lot of things to do with the youth in Georgia, in innovation, in high tech, in startups, in AI, in politics even. And I would love to see also to send delegations from youth delegations to visit Israel. And it's because, you know, being there on the ground is different than hearing about it from a distance. So I'm open for any kind of collaboration from any youth movement, including you.
Thank you. So what does the Embassy of Israel do as such to maintain connections between Georgians that left Israel for their close ones in Georgia?
You know, we don't have to do so much, they do a lot. I can give you an example, which is I always mention, it's a bit of funny. When I was nominated to be ambassador of Israel to Georgia, it was in 9th of January last year, 2025. I was in a meeting and I get a call from my minister. I walked out to take the call, and he was telling me that I was chosen to be ambassador to Georgia. I told him, okay, thank you very much. And I went back to the meeting, and when the meeting was finished, an hour later, I opened my phone, I found a lot of messages. I don't know how they got my phone number. Messages, my Facebook is full of new requests for friends from the Georgian community in Israel. You know, they're doing a lot. They approach us. We have a contact with them, and they love this country. They still love this country, and they want to do a lot to maintain a good relations between Georgia and Israel.
Thank you. The relationship between Georgia and Israel is often described as historically warm and mutually respectful. Yet it sometimes receives less international attention than larger geopolitical partnerships.
Yeah.
In your view, which areas of cooperation would you, whether technological, educational, cultural, strategic of cooperation, or humanitarian, have the greatest untapped potential to transform Georgian-Israeli relations into a deeper long-term partnership level?
You know, I see a potential in every field, in every domain. I see a potential for developing and enhancing our cooperation. The issue is that we need more time and more resources to do that. But there's a readiness from both sides. I meet with ministers here, with all ministers, and we always raise thoughts and ideas about different kind of cooperation that we both want to advance. I would tell you that mainly in education level, in education aspects, AI, technologies, innovations, culture as well. We want to get the Georgian people acknowledgement of Israel's culture, and we would love to see Georgian cultures in Israel, all kinds of theater, music, different festivals. So there is a lot to do, also on a political level as well. So it's each country of us has its own problems, and each country of us has also relations with many other countries in the world, but you need more time and focus and resources to do that. But I think there's good intentions from both sides to develop the relations to even a better place in all aspects of life.
Thank you, Excellency. So Georgia experienced painful internal conflict shortly after resorting independence. Whereas Israel, despite facing simultaneous military threats from neighboring states, managed to consolidate state institutions remarkably quickly. So what strategic or societal differences do you think explain these divergent historical trajectories?
Oh, it's a hard question. There is some kind of a similarity between the circumstances that were when Israel was reestablished in 1948 and in the 90s where Georgia got independent again after the break of the Soviet Union. There is a lot of similarities, but it's also a bit of different. When in 1948 Israel was attacked immediately after proclaiming independence by 5 Arab armies, and we won. They attacked again in 1956 by Egypt, and we won. And in 67 and 73, and in Georgia, it's a different case. It's the 90s. The situation in Georgia a bit of similar to that, but also some kind of difference. And I'm happy that Georgia went out of this situation quickly, and it didn't develop to worse than what was in the 90s, which is something that is very much appreciated. And then I think Georgia is still also in the right path. And it's a well-established country. It has I don't want to get into politics, but it has its institutes, strong institutes. And I think that Georgia, what I see Georgia, and I think many sees in Georgia, inside the country here and outside, belongs to the Western family. And I'm sure that you find a way preserving your national interest and being part of the big group of Western democracy.
Thank you very much. So throughout the history, the Jewish people have repeatedly faced persecution, displacement, and attempts at marginalization. Yet Israeli society has demonstrated remarkable resilience and unity under pressure. What lessons can smaller nations such as Georgia learn from Israel's experience in preventing national identity and statehood during periods of existential challenge?
It's a good question, and my answer will be like that. The key element for a strong society or strong state is resilience and unity. We can debate each other, and we have disagreements, political disagreements inside Israel. We have different parties from very far left to the far right. But when you are in crisis, we are all united behind the government, the elected government. And this is the success of Israel. Now we see it now with the war with Iran. We all support the government. We support the IDF. The IDF is the army of the nation. Everyone is beyond any political debate. And this is what is keep us secure. And there's no debate about the IDF, and there's no debate about such kind of institute. We can argue, as I said, but in times of crisis, I think we have to be resilient and we have to be unified.
Thank you. So both Georgia and Israel are relatively small states located in strategically difficult regions surrounded by larger geopolitical pressures. Do you believe smaller nations develop a different understanding of sovereignty and national survival compared to the larger powers?
It's not easy on the global picture for small nations and countries to survive by their own. I would say that it's all has to do with your strategic choices. And I think one of the most strong and good strategic choice that Israel has done at the beginning of its establishment is to be very strong, to be a very close ally with the United States of America. This has been proven through the years, and the other Western nations as well. And I wouldn't say that's the only thing that has made Israel survive all these years and be strong in a very troubled area like in the Middle East, but also to be sovereign and to rely on yourself and to be aware all the time of where you are and what you have to do.
Mm-hmm. As Israel celebrates another Independence Day, what achievements make Israel's most proud today, not only politically but culturally and socially?
Yeah, as I think I referred to that recently in previous questions. I will mention that again. You know, you have always to look forward, mm-hmm. and to adapt yourself to the reality. Investments in education and R&D and technologies, in high technologies, and looking after your economy very carefully. This is the key for any success. I can give you an example. 20 years ago, 2003, a bit more than 20 years ago, the GDP of Israel per capita was $18,000. Today is almost $70,000. Thanks to the good policy that we decided on then, with privatization of state companies and investing in R&D and in education and technologies, this is the main engine of the Israeli economy, and has been proven that that is the right decision.
Thank you. So, Your Excellency, what message would you, as an ambassador, like to give to the young Georgians on occasion of Israel's Independence Day?
Yeah. Okay, what I would say that we have a very unique relations between our two states, our two nations. It's historic, but let's make it also with a look to the future, with the outlook to the future. We can do a lot together. Let's help each other in good things and positive things. You can look at Israel as a model for advancing innovation and high technologies. We are here to help and to assist and to share know-how and other things. And I'm very happy, every year I'm very happy to see how much Israelis like Georgia and coming here, and how much connections, personal connections are between the nations. People-to-people relations are always proven to be even much important than state-to-state or government-to-government relations. This is something that, as we see in this case of Georgia and Israel, it stands for centuries, and I hope it will be also in the future.
Thank you.